And here she comes, the number 4 seed, who has made it to this round, having been pushed very hard by the wild card, Christina Chalbert. Didn't have everything all her own way in that round of 64 encounter, but she survived unscathed in the end, winning 3-1. Comes up against an opponent who eased past Australia's Yang Ziliu in making it to this all-China clash. We'll get into all the permutations and details of this one very, very soon, but as far as the format is concerned, still racing to the best of 5. And in terms of any history between these two, there's been one meeting before, and that meeting came all the way back in 2023, a WTT feeder in Doha, and that was won by He Zhuojia. She won 3-1 in that one against a young KUAI Man. So that's their only international WTT encounter. They know each other obviously very well. 18 world ranking spots between these two players, who head across now to Marcus Berger for the coin toss.
And then first from Guernsey.
Please. Big toss. I have red and black. Red for you, black for He. Red wins. Service for you. This side, okay.
KUAI Man's going to be serving, and she's going to stay where she is, I think, by the looks of things. Well, oh no, they're turning around. There we are. We'll see what happens. Fraser Riley's with me. Fraser, we're going to have a little look at the context. We're going to have a look at what's up for grabs, what they're playing on, what we know about these two players, and I can't wait to hear from you, because you have been absolutely on fire today, largely down to some classic matches you had to describe.
Well, this is a different kind of matchup here, John. Great to be with you here at the Europe Smash. Less pressure on these two players now, as they're not against a foreigner. It's an all-Chinese clash and a second meeting between He Zhuojia and KUAI Man.
So a world ranking of 22. She's experienced at 26, of course, the senior of these two players, and looking to recent outings for He Zhuojia. She went down in the round of 64, but she had a tough draw in the USA at the Smash there against Tong Tong, Chen Sheng Tong there. Other than that, she has been a consistent performer, regularly makes it through to round of 16, quarterfinals, and a dangerous player for KUAI Man if KUAI Man, Fraser, isn't entirely on her game. And we saw just suggestions of that against Christina Chalbert, couldn't we?
Yeah, she was actually 1-all and then 5-1 down against Tina Chalbert. It was an incredible performance from the Swede, who was unlucky not to send it to a decider. But you know, KUAI Man is just such a seamless player, such an old head on young shoulders, and of course a Smash finalist, which she achieved at the Singapore Smash this year.
Absolutely, 21 years old right now, raced up the rankings to become the number 4, is a regular doubles winner. And what have we seen here? China Smash 2024, round of 32 exit, finalist, as you said, in Singapore earlier this year, and a semi-finalist in Las Vegas. So some pretty good pedigree there. She went down against the giant-killing exploits of Chen Yi, the other Chinese player, who really stamped her authority on the US Smash. So that sets this one up, and again, let's look to what's up for grabs here. Those are the ITTF World Ranking points. There's also $100,000 that goes to the winner of the women's singles here, and they'll be sharing that massive 1.55 million prize pot. Ooh, He Zhuojia edges the fan vote at worldtabletennis.com, 55% to 45.
First game, KUAI to serve, level. One love.
Right hand, left hand, and the lefty takes the first point.
Love two.
If you were to characterize the style of play we see from He Zhuojia, what would you say, Fraser?
So she uses something a little bit more wacky, you could say, really. She uses long pips on her backhand with sponge, and it's a very disturbing style of play. rhythm-wise.
Sweet.
So KUAI Man here will be looking to be aggressive.
Well, her rhythm looks pretty good so far, and He Zhuojia will look to disrupt that.
You have to be mindful where you invest in the speed and spin game. He Zhuojia's forehand has inverted rubber on it. More typical. So she attacks on that side, and with the backhand, she looks to disturb the rhythm, dink it short, change the spin. With the long pips, you can turn backspin into topspin and topspin into backspin.
Well, she got a good result there off the edge of the racket of KUAI Man.
4-1.
Talk a bit about the KUAI Man serve, which can be such a potent weapon.
Yeah, she has a pendulum service, KUAI Man. She uses that for the most part. Very subtle variations. That one usually really handcuffs her right-handed opponent. They don't know whether to push, touch, whether it's flickable or not, or even whether it's long enough to wait for an attack. But He Zhuojia dealt with it really well.
Got over the top of that, didn't she? Really well.
Great posture on the balls of her feet, focusing her energy forwards.
Three, 4.
And you can see it's kind of tough to tell how to calibrate your counter or your attack against He Zhuojia's backhand. Sometimes it's a little bit floatier than you may expect, and there KUAI Man brushed a ball that warranted something more driven.
4-4.
So an all-Chinese encounter here. Whoever wins this one, well, it'll be an all-Chinese encounter in the next round as well, as He Zhuojia waits for the winner of this one.
It's a really interesting section of the draw here in women's singles.
4-5.
Well, if you project further in that section, you've also got the very dangerous Honoka Hashimoto, and you know all about what she can do against Chinese players. We've just seen more evidence of that today.
5-5.
Yeah, she dispatched Chen Qinyi in 3 straight games and could potentially face Wang Yidi again.
Could do, yeah. Wang Yidi up against the Singaporean Zheng Jian.
6-5.
Clever play from He Zhuojia. Sometimes she'll invite the opening attack to the opponent so that she can then get her pimples on it. Better there.
6-6.
If possible, the push counter tactic will be better from KUAI Man. If she pushes into the backhand of He Zhuojia, she will get a fairly floaty ball back. He Zhuojia there trying to generate a bit of topspin, but not that much, not enough to trouble KUAI Man, who switched the direction of play really, really well.
Oh,
7-6.
talking about dragging her opponent round and switching the direction there. That was one, it felt, about 4 shots earlier.
Yeah, that's right. We were talking about this in the Schalberg match. KUAI Man knows exactly when not to hit the ball so hard. She knows how to really construct the point, and that's
6-8.
very, very impressive to say that she's such a young player, because a lot of them want to try and attack aggressively and play at that quick rhythm all the time. She's wise. She knows better than that.
Finally takes a chance. It took a couple of bites at it from He Zhuojia.
That was an awesome push. Got her on the front foot, abbreviates her stroke there with the compact counter. Great point. Could she level?
Oh, slaps that one long, and it is all square, 8-all. When you consider that KUAI Man actually jumped out to a 4-1 lead early in this one, it's really tightened up. He Zhuojia, a study there, an intensity facially and in her play as well.
There was the serve that I think you were touching upon earlier, John, that pendulum serve of KUAI Man. Didn't have the desired surprise factor down the line. He Zhuojia read it like a book. Oh, this is genius.
She's got 2 game points, holding the table there and holding her nerve. Remember, KUAI Man's the 4th seed. Another one's under threat here.
Oh.
She always has that backhand to call upon.
Yeah, it's a very divisive stroke. Look at that one there. She just saw a shimmy in He Zhuojia and went right down the line. Untouchable.
But still, game point for the woman in blue.
11-9.
Look at that celebration there. A little clench of the left fist from He Zhuojia, who's taken the first game against the number 4 seed KUAI Man in a tight tussle that maybe is a taste of things to come. Feels like there's not too much between these two players here. She wins the first 11-9 and draws first blood. So Chinese player against Chinese player, therefore means no coach, but they are in the building, looking on, and it's been a learning experience, hasn't it, really, for the Chinese coaching team behind the women over this last couple of hours here in Malmo.
Second game,
Zhuojia there,
Level.
the personal coach of Sun Yingsha, and someone who's now really helping out KUAI Man.
1 love.
And again, KUAI Man's not really had it all her way. We were talking about this perhaps off the back of Las Vegas as well and into Yokohama. Is there finally just a little vulnerability to someone who looked like she was so solid? And maybe, Fraser, just to put that into some kind of context, she plays an awful lot. Women's doubles, mixed doubles, singles. And I suppose at some point you have to have a dip in form somewhere or other.
That's right. And, you know, it's interesting whether it is a dip in form or whether it's just, you know, her opponent's growing in confidence. There's more studyable material of KUAI Man now.
Figuring her out a bit.
Figuring her out, getting to see her more in the training hall. And sometimes I think that she just lacks a little bit of versatility.
1-3.
I think that in the first game, KUAI Man was attacking with too much power and spin too early on. I should be better off playing sort of 20-30% speed ball into the middle and then driving. He Zhuojia has been very intelligent, so she's been dropping the ball shallow without that much spin into the middle, and that's made KUAI Man hesitant.
1-4.
Great point, because we've seen a couple of early exchanges here in which she's had the freedom to go wide and really demonstrate her flair there. She was handcuffed, shackled, as you said, in that first game when He Zhuojia got back into it.
4-2.
KUAI Man has an amazing inside-out forehand, but she doesn't seem so confident to pivot right now. She's staying rooted to that backhand side.
Rather than that jumping into it and pivoting quickly. We saw a couple of times there, but her was very clever and really played the ball into her body when she tried that. That's where you feel in the percentages KUAI Man's going to win more often than not.
She has to understand that He Zhuojia has been feeding off her pace. KUAI Man now reducing the pace early on and then adding an injection of pace into the ball a little bit later on. Excellent.
3-5.
Probing play, sets it up with the backhand and then pounces.
She's divisive, she's selective, He Zhuojia. And I love her fighting spirit. 26 years of age, He Zhuojia.
3-6.
Went for it there, didn't really execute. But she looks as if she's got a great head on those shoulders. Experienced. Nothing ostentatious about her play at all.
I feel like in terms of her position in the batting order of the Chinese women, she's in a similar kind of seat to what Honoka Hashimoto is for Japan. You know, so 26 years of age, a bit older than most of the teammates, but someone who now is proving that they can do real damage even at smash level. Someone who plays a little bit more differently to the out-and-out attackers that you usually see making up the lineups.
5-7.
Well, that was a show of aggression from He Zhuojia. It's a really good point you make that, isn't it? Because we've seen so much power play, we've seen so much attacking play, in particular from the, well, I suppose the big 4 or 5 that dominated for the Chinese women. Maybe there is room for Hashimoto everywhere, because something different appears to be working at the moment. I hope they're enjoying this.
Oh.
Well, there'd been a hidden hope earlier on there in which He Zhuojia virtually gave up on things, but you never do because you might get a bit of luck.
That's mind-blowing. Look at the flight of the ball here. Amazing resilience.
6-7.
Acknowledged the net, but boy, it was that wide backhand in which she, body language-wise, sort of said, I think I'm done here. But got away with it. And as a result, they head into the timeout with just 1 point between them. KUAI Man has decided to go and sit down and have a think about things, trailing by 1 game, leading by just 1 point in this second. So just to remind you, an all-Chinese clash in this round, and guaranteed to be an all-Chinese clash in the next one, as a player who's very dangerous on the evidence of what we saw in WTT champions Yokohama, He Zhuojia, is on the move, as is this young lady. You enjoy yourself. Another seed falls. Lin Yunru has gone. Knocked out by Shunsuke Togami in straight games. The Japanese turning it on here. Wow, what a result from the Smash Arena, Fraser.
6-7.
Well, Lin Yunru ruining missed opportunities there in that third game. That's a big upset. Togami is playing incredibly well right now, of course. He won the World Doubles title in Doha with Hiroto Shinozuka. Made history for Japan.
7-7.
There's all sorts of stuff going on in the men's singles draw, isn't there?
It really is.
Loads happening there. Women's has been far more calm in most ways.
And I'll just give a little update as well. Zhu Yuling has just defeated Shrija Akula of India 3-1. Akula, another one of the long pimple players here in the women's singles. And interestingly, she defeated her teammate, the Golden Girl, Manaka Batra, 3-2.
Yeah, and that was a big result. I was talking to Shrija and her coach this morning, and they were really delighted because she had lost the previous encounter in WTT action with Manaka Batra.
That's right.
7-9.
And again, the pace from KUAI Man, and we haven't seen much of that. A couple of times early on in the first game, but by and large, He Zhuojia has not allowed that sort of thing to happen.
You know what? It seems counterintuitive, but it's actually a good thing we haven't seen that too much from KUAI Man. Because He Zhuojia is looking to feed off the pace and make things tricky with the long pips.
8-9.
The serve receive is crucial here. You cannot build a house on sand. You could see He Zhuojia there swept in, played a lovely glancing forehand, and puts real pressure now on the fourth seed.
And that backhand again, it's so lovely for KUAI Man to have that to counter upon, as she has 2 game points to level things up here. Just the quality in that shot. She has the serve as well, so she can really reinforce what she has just achieved. But how about that resistance? He Zhuojia with a couple of incredible gets.
Well, that's 2 escapes now that will dent the confidence of KUAI Man, who played a beautiful long fast serve, got in with a 3rd ball kill, but somehow He Zhuojia was able to brace for impact and fend it back.
Still game point though. And there, if she was going to do it anywhere, it was out wide to the forehand of He Zhuojia. So KUAI Man again had to battle hard, but this time she comes away the winner of the game. This is a high-quality matchup. There's a lot about this one. Now, where does it go next? We'll find out soon enough. What we know is that she's just won 9-11, having dropped the first by 9-11. Nothing between these two. Fraser, let's get the tech out and have a little look at the winning ball placement for KUAI Man. And she had to be good, and she was very good with a couple of these.
Yeah, excellent. I mean, He Zhuojia as a pinball player isn't going to move as dynamically close to the table as KUAI Man. You can see KUAI Man, for the most part, was pinning that sort of backhand area initially, trying to hook the ball out wide, trying to go into the middle and the wide forehand off the looser balls.
And then if you see that footwork from He Zhuojia, you could see how vulnerable she was to that ball when it went out wide to the forehand.
Yeah, she was so good at you know, getting those back on the backhand side, even with the block.
The obvious question is, what now? What do you expect?
Well, I think KUAI Man will continue to play the long, fast serves more often. She has to make it a guessing game with the long serve. She could get, you know, quite a lot of opportunities to attack with the 3rd ball.
The powers of recovery of He Zhuojia have been remarkable, but even she wasn't getting out wide to that one.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Look at the side spin on that. For me, she's the best in the world at that shot. The inside-out forehand. Tried it again off the push, but it was tempting to attack, but it was just half long enough and backspinny enough to make it tricky there. He Zhuojia, a master at setting traps.
Long serve from her. This is really intriguing. I said she wasn't ostentatious earlier on, and I stand by it, Fraser. She's not a very demonstrative player, but boy, she's got a lot of variety to her game, He Zhuojia.
Certainly. She's such a tricky customer. Oh, yeah. I like the intention there, but the killer instinct from KUAI Man coming in, and I think that kind of shot is what I was hoping to see more from Chen Yi against Hashimoto. That ability to say, okay, I'm going to finish the point now on this ball with zero hesitation.
KUAI Man is just enjoying a little spell here in which she feels as if she's just got on top of her opponent right now. 3-all on the score, though, 1-1. But she's put a couple of balls past her here that will give her a lot of heart.
This is a really absorbing match. I think this one could go either way. I think we can talk tactics all day long and wax lyrical about the strengths and the weaknesses of the players, but this is going to come down to, I think, mental strength and presence.
4-4.
They're so equally matched. Different in styles, yes, but as effective at what they do, yes.
She's so good at getting in the back, but she's berating herself there, having missed one.
5-4.
But the power is coming from KUAI Man, turning up the heat.
Yeah, she's harassing that forehand, isn't she, early on?
Timeout.
Timeout called. No great surprise there. Just something now that has been thrown into the mix that feels she needs to go and just think about a while, just study on, and maybe take a little bit of the heat out of KUAI Man. So we've been looking today at some of the difficult challenges that can be posed to some of the higher ranked players, and you don't get much better right now than the former world #1, Zhuojia. You were talking about this scoreline earlier on, Fraser. The US Smash champion has progressed here at the Europe Smash, but she was up against a difficult opponent, He Zhuojia, the Indian, who took a game off her, but in the end, in the fourth, comfortably getting home 3-1.
Yeah, she won 11-9, 11-8, 6-11, 11-2 there, former world #1.
So, not without a few problems there, and she goes through, incidentally, Zhuojia, to face either Satsuki Odo or the Thai player, Orawan Parana. Everywhere you look in this women's draw, everywhere you look, there's great matchups. There's a variety of play on show, which is really, really exciting.
Yeah, it's just oozing quality here. You've got power players, spin players, defensive players, pimple players. So exciting.
And while KUAI Man is far more than just a power player, she's brought the heat over the last few points, but He Zhuojia has given herself a chance to go away, think things over, come back again, maybe with an updated strategy, with a patch.
5-6.
So He Zhuojia has been doing a very good job at sucking KUAI Man in near the table. Ultimately, I'd sum it up by saying it is so difficult to get into a rhythm against He Zhuojia, and you really, really need that as the attacker.
7-5.
That's where she's dangerous, dictating, venomous with the backhand.
Yeah, she doesn't normally play the backhand punch all too often, but here in this matchup, selecting it wisely. Wang Yidi, I'd say, the player in the top 5 for China that plays the backhand punch most regularly. But KUAI Man has layers to her game.
8-5, which in the context of a very tight match represents quite a huge lead at this stage of the third. But she can't get away because her opponent won't let her.
Look at the difference in footwork between the two players. He Zhuojia is rooted at the middle of the table. And that makes it tricky for KUAI Man to play a winner off of an angle.
(9-7).
That goes long. He Zhuojia literally holding her ground, but it does mean that she's got to be super fast in terms of those reflexes at the table.
10-7.
Long serve, judiciously applied, and that earns 3 game points for KUAI Man, who, remember, trailed in this match. She can go in front now.
Bad. What? Hidden? Challenge. He. Hidden bow.
We have a TTR, a challenge.
We were too busy looking at that man of style in the crowd there to see what had happened, but let's see. it must be He Zhuojia's challenge because she's, well, in a position to do so and to be more tempted to do it. I imagine it's a side or edge. Felt like I heard the rally start.
Yes, the second shot had been played, so that's all it can be. A challenge to a decision. Bit of drama. Big point this. Huge point in the match, you feel. Under review. And all will be revealed soon.
Okay, so it was for the serve, and the ball was hidden by the head.
It was, on that angle, and that's straight in line with He Zhuojia, right?
Yep. No questions asked there. It's He Zhuojia's point.
Okay, so the appeal, the challenge must have been made when we were elsewhere, and then they went straight to it.
That's right.
Big call.
Challenges remaining for him.
And now she'll have two serves
8-10.
at 8-10.
Yeah, and still keeps her two challenges. Still at game point, and a little flash of frustration there for KUAI Man, who's seen a couple of these game points saved. But not that one, and even though there was frustration at the challenge, and even though she dropped the subsequent point, KUAI Man has come back into this one, winning another tight game. Have they all been 11-9? I think they have, right?
That's right.
Very, very tight.
So tight. Just missed by a whisker there, He Zhuojia.
To her anguish, as you can see there, she's now going to have to win the next two games if she's to progress. Yep, 11s and 9s all the way in this really absorbing and very hard-fought matchup. KUAI Man with the advantage right now. We've been talking a lot about footwork. What's your analysis of what we're seeing here, Fraser?
Yeah, nothing more to add, really. It's the same story. He Zhuojia will not be moving from left to right. She doesn't want to be chasing the ball. She doesn't want to really play from mid-distance. It was amazing in the first and second game how well she actually did at fending balls back from that position, but that's just not her game style. Similar to other pimple, short-statured players such as Mima Ito, Shija Akula.
Still coming to terms with that challenge. You know, it's part of the game now. It's part of a player's armory. And it was expertly applied. And all you can do with the challenge is look at it in the context of that particular moment and go, yep, she saw, or rather didn't see a ball, and said, I'm going to challenge this serve.
It's a great addition to the sport. And I got a flashback to the Dangzhou Jonathan Groth match.
Please take care that you remove your free arm immediately.
Just explain that one first. Remove your free arm immediately, was the call from Marcus Berger.
So the head, the body, or the free arm can be used to hide the ball from toss to point of contact. The ball always has to be visible. You have to toss it from above the playing surface, behind the back line, out of the palm of your hand, and it has to be no more than 33 degrees off vertical. Those are the service requirements.
2-1.
2-1, KUAI Man. So the warning on serve there for her, who of course was the successful appealer at the end, and also the timing of TTR, Fraser. That's what we're seeing. Tends to happen towards the end of games. Big points.
Yeah, it just adds such an interesting element to the game. You can use it because you genuinely think that your opponent hit the serve, or if it was a side or edge, you could use it as a tactic to delay, to get in your opponent's head. Just to correct myself, the toss can be no more than 30 degrees.
Yeah, not 33, yeah. And we've seen that, of course, that comes up regularly. Probably the most common of the TDR challenges. Certainly at the US Smash in Vegas, we saw a lot of those looking at that angle.
Yeah.
And we saw some really tight ones.
Yeah.
Again, haven't seen that since maybe the first game. And there are a couple of instances where He Zhuojia, who, as we know, does not want to be dragged around, was dragged around.
Yeah, KUAI Man really picking her moments now. Pushing out when she can and then countering.
4-2.
He Zhuojia does not want to be in those kind of spots.
She's done really well in this match, KUAI Man. She struggled a little bit early on. And she may not have a coach with her, but if she did, that coach, I'm sure, would be really impressed by what she's done here and finding a way against a really resolute opponent.
That's right, yeah. She's managed to create her own rhythm, create her own tempo, and actually cause hesitation in He Zhuojia's mind.
2-6.
And just now, you feel she's playing with a little bit of freedom, liberated, and perhaps for the first time, He Zhuojia is suffering.
Yeah, that sends a clear message there, that forehand hook. Backhand especially for me has been really, really improved, and I think it just takes a bit of time against a player like He Zhuojia to find your feet.
It's a big run of points, this.
Let
He
2-7.
Zhuojia changing to the local league style serve.
7-3.
Yeah, because of the circumstances, she's got to try something, local leagues or not.
And she went for the shock and awe factor there, attacking more aggressively with the forehand on the third ball.
Seven, 4.
7-4. But it's KUAI Man with the serve now.
The stance of He Zhuojia, the way she sinks into her haunches between shots, it's very interesting. It really makes the opponent hesitant.
Let
Because it looks like she's hesitant when she's hitting the ball, but she's not. And that makes the opponent think that they're in a good spot, but yet they're not convinced.
4-8.
Well, whether she's being double bluffed or not, KUAI Man says there's one way to sort that out, and that's to just hit an absolutely blazing, ripping backhand into the corner. So it just feels as if there's been a shift in this match. It just feels as if the woman in red is far more in control of matters right now.
We've seen some of the best young players in the world, Miwa Haramoto, Shin Yubin included, get destroyed by He Zhuojia. So the fact that KUAI Man is on the verge of winning this match shows you that she's really blossoming into a seasoned women's player. She's growing used to the tricks of the trade.
Every facet of KUAI Man's game there, perfect.
Nine, 6.
And still she fights. But Zhuojia with a sense of desperation now, having to force the issue, fighting to stay in this Europe smash.
If He Zhuojia can play balls short forehand or deep backhand, she could get into this, could get back into it. Wow.
7, 9.
She got a big break there. These are desperate moments for her.
Did well to get that one back. Oh, and KUAI Man was so close. You can see her reaction.
Well played, He
8-9.
Zhuojia. The chips are down. She's having to come up with something, and boy, she's delivering. Closing the gap now.
With her back against the ropes, she's just gone, why not? I'm going to swing.
What a time to swing
quiet,
it.
please.
6 of the last 8 points have gone her way as she fights to survive. However, she's still 1 down.
Nine.
Another big net intervention, and then KUAI Man going for a ball that wasn't there.
Well, I'll tell you what, that is an unbelievable bit of improv. What an amazing shallow spin shot from He Zhuojia.
Look how tight it is. KUAI Man just the better server of the two. And she serves now 2 to win this one. There's one. And with that, it's match point for KUAI Man. But boy, oh boy, she's having to fight for everything she gets here. Done.
Game and match.
What a tussle that was. What a high quality match.
2-1.
Hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Fraser, your summary.
Yeah, there was nothing really in it. He Zhuojia with a fantastic fight back there in game 4, but couldn't force a 5th. Look, barely anything in it. Every single game was 11-9. He Zhuojia taking the first, KUAI Man reeling off 3 on the trot. But that was a really well played tactical match from both players, I think it's fair to say.
And in the end, I suppose you'd have to say, if you go with seeding, the number 4 seed justified her billing as the favourite there. She came through, she found a way, and that in itself, highly impressive from KUAI Man, who advances, but not without a battle. And of course, as we said earlier on, it is going to be KUAI Man who goes through, and another all-Chinese encounter for her awaits. 37 high-quality minutes of play there. She edged it, having won 4 more points than her opponent, and at the end there, just lifted her service win percentage to 60. And in a match of fine margins, 11-9s all the way, it's those little things that make such a big difference. So, the win achieved. And now, we turn our attention to the future. And the immediate future brings an all-Swedish men's doubles showdown to round out this session. Carlsen and Falk against Chalbert and Modegaard. Oh, that's going to be fun. Don't you miss it.
Welcome back to the Renaissance Arena. What a thrilling opening session we've had so far today. More thrills to come, bringing the curtain down on what's been an intriguing day of action. An all-Swedish matchup. We'll be finishing with the men's doubles.